Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Retro Playback. I'm Commander Exorcist. Today, we are leaving the PC realm and heading to one of the OG consoles. We're heading to the 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System for Star Trek: The Next Generation. Now, I played this game when it came out in 1993. I got it shortly after it was released. This was the height of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The show was going off the air, and they were transitioning into the movies around this time. It was approaching the end of the series, and Star Trek Generations was about to come out, and so you had the big crossover between Captain Picard and Captain Kirk, and kind of the passing of the torch from the old generation, from the original series, movies, to the next generation in the movie series. Well, then you have Star Trek: The Next Generation for pretty much every console that was out there. So you had this version of the game for the Nintendo and the Game Boy, and then there was a separate version for the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Those games were kind of different between the two of them, but the basic storyline for them was the same. Now, this game doesn't really have a storyline. It is a simulation of flying and commanding the Enterprise. So the story for this game is that you are a new recruit at Starfleet Academy, and you are learning the operations of the Enterprise. And so this is a simulation. So you're given different missions to undertake by Captain Picard, and you have to find ways to utilize the crew and the resources at your disposal to accomplish the various missions. The missions are random in a way, but they come from kind of a standard pool of missions. So you may have a mission to respond to a Romulan attack on a particular colony. The colony may change, or it may be a starbase or a planet or a ship, but the basic outline of that mission is the same. And then you'll have to deliver cargo, or you'll have to rescue an ambassador that's been captured. And there's not a lot of diplomacy in this game. Most of it is combat. So if you're engaging the Romulans, the Ferengi, the Talarians, the Borg, you are going to be engaged in combat. There's no option to just kind of hail them and say, hey, we'd like to talk this out. Although you can disable them, and sometimes you can beam items and people off of disabled ships. So I loved this game. And as a kid who was obsessed with Star Trek, especially Star Trek: The Next Generation, I grew up on this game. I feel like sometimes I grew up on the Enterprise D. And so it was nice to sit down and put this into my Nintendo, which, by the way, was ending its life around that time. That was the end of the support for the Nintendo Entertainment System for the 8-bit, because the Super Nintendo had really taken over. And so this was one of the later games to come to the console. And so it was nice to get to sit down and kind of climb into the world of Star Trek on my console. With that said, despite the fact that this is an older game in terms of the life cycle for the Nintendo, it's got a very arcadey retro design feel to it, because a lot of the sound effects in the game are from very early 80s arcade style games. And so it's really kind of cool to see this, the future of the game of the Enterprise and Star Trek kind of brought to life with that, like retro 80s sound effect and aesthetic. So really enjoyed this game. And so when we do the retro playback here, I'm going to do my best to not repeat missions, because this is a random activity game. So you will have moments where you're playing the game and it has a combat mission, and then there may be that same combat mission appear later on, maybe at a higher difficulty or just a small change to it. And then sometimes you'll just get the same mission over and over again. It'll be the Talarians or it'll be the Ferengi, and you got to take out 2 of them, and there's 2 of these, 2 of that. So I'm going to do my best to keep it fresh and not to repeat missions. However, if they're a higher difficulty, or if there's differences to them, say that I need to rescue an ambassador or whatever, I am going to keep those. And so we will be going through this game, and I'm going to play for about an hour, ranking my way up as much as I can. And then my goal, hopefully, is to finish out the game with the ultimate mission in this game, and that is the Borg Assault on planet Earth. Yes, it does happen in this game. It's a lot of fun, and it is definitely something that, as a kid playing this game, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fight the Borg. And so let's sit back and enjoy. I hope you enjoy it, because I'm going to be playing. This is Star Trek: The Next Generation for the Nintendo Entertainment System from 1993 from Absolute Entertainment. Alright, so we are underway, and each time that I control the Enterprise or do something in the game, I'm going to let the entire scene play through. So here we're using Lieutenant Worf to raise the shields, and I always love this sequence, to battle stations, everyone. So Worf controls the defensive systems on the Enterprise. Data controls all of the navigation and the sensors. So anytime that we travel to a new world, we'll be using data, and we'll be going as fast as possible. This game does have a time limit on each of the missions in terms of the star date that they can be completed. So if you go too slow, you can actually run out of time and fail your mission. But I always go at warp 9, so I always get there in plenty of time. Each time we enter into a system, you can see there it says sensors indicate the presence of another ship. That indicates that there is an enemy vessel in the area. So if it's just a Federation starship, we won't get that notification. And it's Romulans, the green distinctive color of the Romulan warbird, and my tiny little phasers doing their work here. It's been a few years since I really sat down and tried to play this, so. Oh, okay. Still got my lead time okay. But this is how we do it. Combination of phasers and photon torpedoes to take out the enemy Romulan vessel. Romulan warbird isn't that difficult. That is until we get later on in the game and you're fighting multiple Romulan warbirds, then it can get a little tough. Come on. Oh, that was close. Oh, so the way combat works is you shoot until they are disabled and then destroyed. So there's a moment right before the enemy is destroyed that they become disabled, and it's a good opportunity, like if somebody's being held captive. Oh, beautiful. Never mind, we could have saved them, but well done, cadet. We have restored peace to the galaxy. Alright, let's get our shields up. Everybody to battle stations. Like I said, I'm not going to talk during the mission briefings. I'll just talk during the actual gameplay. Save you guys some repetitiveness. We are heading to Crystalia. There we go. We'll talk about some of these worlds as we play. There is a way, so I'll show you some of the other characters here in a little bit that we can use. There's Geordi LaForge, Chief O'Brien, Commander Riker. Commander Riker pretty much serves as your, like, senior command administrator, so if you forget where your mission is leading, where you're supposed to go, he can tell you where to go. So, we've got... Okay, so we got Ferengi this time. So the Ferengi are attacking this freighter, and if we don't destroy them in time, it will destroy this little freighter. And the Ferengi are probably among some of the easiest enemies, at least in the initial phases of the game, to take out. It's crazy. When the Ferengi came out, like when they debuted in the series, like we thought they were going to be kind of the big bad. Oh my god, I just got them that quickly? No way. Well, that was nothing. So this is a different type of mission where we don't have to fight, but we have to pick up an ambassador who is currently aboard the USS Monitor. So we're flying to Penthara, and once we've picked up the ambassador, we will take them to the planet Kataan. That was where we get to use Chief O'Brien for the first time. And there's the Monitor. Oh, this was so cool, man, as a kid. Getting to fly next to another ship. And here's the transporter interface. This one's easy because the ambassador's standing still. And we don't have to chase him around. Some of the other missions where the people we're trying to beam up don't necessarily want to go. We'll have to chase them around. So you see I had to pull up Riker there while I was talking. So I couldn't remember where I was going, but it's Kataan. We want to turn and face the planet. And once it gets a little bit bigger, now we're going to enter orbit. And it's a little mini game where you've got to fly inside of the squares. So once you fly through all the squares, pretty easy. They get a little bit tougher during the late game, but now they're not too bad. Beam down our ambassador. Another successful mission. Alright, so we are going to rescue a guy who is aboard a Romulan warbird. Mission must be aborted, and so we have to be very careful with our military engagement here. We want to attack, but we don't want to destroy. We want to make sure that he lives. Where am I going? Kataan, that's right. So there, Riker reminds me. Just dial up the warp speed, and here we go. I think it would have been cool if the Enterprise could have been pulled out of warp and pulled into an engagement of some kind. But you know, this is the Nintendo era. We've got a nice Romulan starbase there, so we are deep in enemy territory at the moment. Ooh, nice. I'll fire missiles or photon torpedoes early on, but as the engagement rolls on, I don't want to risk destroying the ship, so be very careful here. I might be willing to hit him with one more. We'll see how that goes. Come on. No! Oh, we failed. We destroyed him. Rest in peace, Covert Operative. Alright, so we're defending another freighter. Could be Ferengi, could be Romulans, Talarians. It definitely won't be the Borg. Let's see who's out there. Heading to Risa, which was the Paradise Planet, Commander Riker's preferred pleasure palace. Time is running backwards. What in the world? I don't remember what this means. We're like 6 years past our mission date. What's going on here? Time is still running backwards. Does that mean we got more time to do the mission? Seems like our orbit lines aren't going as fast as they were, so that's kind of nice. Orbit achieved. Oh, that wasn't orbit. That was, we escaped the temporal rift. Alright. So, I'd say that if we hadn't escaped it, we might have failed the mission once we reached our, the end of our mission time frame. So, more Ferengi. The Ferengi are really ruthless when it comes to attacking these freighters, that's for sure. Come over here and quit just spinning around. Maybe I need to learn how to fire my torpedoes better. Okay. Got him. A little bit. The Ferengi Marauders are really chunky, so a little bit easier to hit with torpedoes. Oh, he's just, there we go. Nice. So let's go take care of his buddy. Once we get into the later missions, it'll be necessary to engage both of the craft to keep them from actually destroying the freighter itself. For now, they're not too much of a threat, unless I really just kind of let them go. Alright. Don't worry, freighter. The Enterprise is here to help. It's two tiny lasers. Ooh, I love that effect. Oh, yes! Quick and easy. The Ferengi are no more. Alright, so we're going to defend Crystalia. Probably Romulans. It didn't say. As you're starting to see a few missions in, yeah, the missions are random, but a lot of the randomness comes from where you're going and who you're engaging. So, you know, we're going to get the same Crystalia Under Siege mission over and over, but it may be for Risa, for Lysia, Iconia, or whatever. So the missions change, the locations change, but a lot of the overall activities stay the same. So this was a game that, you know, you could kind of sit down and just play, and it was endless. I mean, it really is. That's why in this episode of Retro Playback, we're only going to play, I think, for probably about an hour's worth of missions. Some of these missions will, I'm sure they'll be repeats, But that's fine. Just kind of a show you what it was like to actually play this game. And this game still works. So if you can get a cartridge and an OG Nintendo, which there are plenty of them still out there, I mean, this is something that you can pop a couple of bucks down on and you can play. And so you can spend your evening blowing up Romulan warbirds and Ferengi marauders and defending the galaxy against those who do not appreciate the Prime Directive. What is going on here? Whoa. A Romulan warbird. We've got two of them. Alright, we got to be careful. We got two Romulan warbirds to defend ourselves against. This is where it starts to get a little tricky. I mean, I can keep moving the Enterprise around, but I'm still going to take damage. See, they're still going to be able to get hits off on me. That was a really satisfying torpedo hit. Almost. Oh, that was so close. And while I'm doing that, his buddies around me flanking and trying to do the same thing to me. And you're not going to do any fancy maneuvers or anything in this game. It's going to be left or right, spinny, spinny. Oh, man, it was so close. There we go. If we take any damage, the center communicator, which is Geordi LaForge, will start flashing. So that means that the systems are damaged on the Enterprise. If the first one starts flashing, it's either intruders, which need to be taken care of via the transporter, or it's Worf telling us that the shields are collapsing, and that's even worse. Okay, where are you at, buddy? So we can spin back around here, and there he is. We started off with one, now we're down to... we went up to two, and now we're down to our last warbird. Yep, so we've got intruders on board. I think for the moment... yeah, let's go ahead and get them out of here. So we got two of them. There he is. Ah, we gotta kill a lock on him. He's trying to run away. Gotta get away from me. Where's the other one? Oh, really? I'm getting shot at, man. So if we go back out, and then you... okay, the shields are collapsing. Yeah, phasers are damaged. This is kind of a nightmare. There we go. Sometimes if you leave the transporter feature and come back, it'll go straight to the next target. Or at least it'll go to that general area. Okay. So that flashing is probably Worf telling us that the shields are collapsing. And the worst thing that can happen to you is life support being damaged, because your life support can bleed out in space and your ship can be destroyed. In this case, our phasers are damaged, so we got to be careful. Oh, my photon torpedo launcher is damaged too, because I'm pressing it twice and it's only firing one torpedo. So it sucks to be out here in the middle of space and lose your weapon systems. There's a couple of options. You can fly away to other star systems and repair, or you can enter into orbit and repair. I typically... yeah, I know the shields are collapsing. Thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate that. And it's going to flash every time we take a hit because the shields are so weak. And with the intruders that were on board, God knows what they damaged. Come on. He's got to be close to death. Oh, I felt like that was so close. Oh, oh yes, that was good. Got him. Oh my goodness. Finally. So, no combat this time. We are heading straight to Ambassador Spock's home of planet Vulcan, so we can evacuate some of the people living there because there's a firestorm on the way. Yeah, this is a Nintendo game, so we're not going to see the firestorm at all, but we'll be going there, and just like we did with the intruders from the previous mission, the colonists won't stand still, so they'll be running around, and we'll have to just beam them up using our skills. Oh, didn't do so well on that one. See them all running around like crazy. The firestorm's got them freaked out. Stand still while I transport you. The most disorganized evacuation ever. Come on. Got him. Yeah, the Enterprise simulator was cool. And there's a couple of, these little mini games that are scattered throughout. There's a mini game for engineering. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not in this playthrough, but if your ship is severely damaged, you can play a mini game where it will divert power to certain systems. So like if your life support is failing, you can divert power from the engines to, say, the life support system, and you have to do it through this maze feature. But I haven't done that much. I'm not sure what we'll do in this one, but we did evacuate the colonists successfully. Go us. So in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to the different levels of combat in this game, the Talarians are the easiest combat out there. So it pretty much goes the Talarians, Ferengi, the Romulans, and the Borg. That's the level. And so you'll see in a moment when the Talarians are on screen, their ship design is actually from the Next Generation, but it's just kind of like a generic wing design. So, but they're not too bad. But in this case, we're going to go and defend the Iconia colony, which is funny because Iconia was the location where, man, I can't remember the constellation, or it was the other Galaxy-class starship, and they had been scanned by a probe from the surface of Iconia, and their ship was destroyed, and so the Enterprise got to watch it disintegrate. And the Enterprise almost got disintegrated because of the Iconia probe. And so, yeah. But these are pretty cool. They're a lot of fun, but they can be a little annoying because they'll just kind of loop around you. And so there are sometimes I'll just stop the Enterprise and just wail on these things, but I actually do that because he's getting a little close. They're pretty easy to take out with torpedoes. Yeah, see, it would just stop for a minute. Oh, there were 3 of them. Okay. That's probably the equivalent of 2 Romulan warbirds, if that. Come here and let me hit you with my torpedoes. Got him. So satisfying. They might be easy, but they're definitely worth the effort. Oh, just like that, my friends. Iconia is safe. So this was always kind of funny. The Starbase in Bajor sector has been... contact has been lost, which would make this Deep Space Nine. They missed an opportunity to have the model for the Starbase in Bajor be Deep Space Nine. I think it ends up being the space dock design, like the giant mushroom, but I just think it was... I remember even as a kid flying to Bajor, and, you know... There was a point where, like, when Next Generation ended, you had Deep Space Nine, which was really starting to take off, and Voyager, and so Star Trek was everywhere. And so we knew about Deep Space Nine, and so when this game came out, Deep Space Nine would have been out there, and it's, you know, it's like, man, that would have been so cool to see DS9 here. But it's, yeah, there it is. It's just it's the Space Dock Mushroom design, which is a cool design, don't get me wrong. It is one of the coolest space station designs of all time. But somehow the Romulans have invaded the Bajoran star system that has a mushroom space dock. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't ask questions. I just fire the lasers. Or phasers, I'm sorry. I don't want to make any purists upset. That was a nice hit. Come on. It's crazy. After I finish this retro playback, there won't be any more Star Trek The Next Generation, like, console games or anything like this, because the Game Boy game... So there's a Game Boy port of this game, and it's identical to this one. Like, the layout, it is just a... It's a Game Boy port. So the design is the same, the missions are the same, there's just no color to it. I've got that one too. I actually have that one. I have the cartridges for both this game and the Game Boy version, even though I'm playing this one on an emulator. And it's yeah, it's actually enjoyable. It was nice to be able to play this on the NES and then take a copy of it with me. I did enjoy that. So I'm about to take out the last Warbird here and defend Deep Space Nine right there. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful lead time. Alright, Tarsus 4 is under siege. Let's get everybody to battle station. Shields up. Come on, Worf. And Mr. Data set a course for Tarsus 4. We'll be on our way. I think it's Romulans. Most of these under siege ones have been Romulans. So, we'll see how it goes. Yep, it's Romulans. I don't know why I hit the navigation again. Hello, boys. I've taken out a lot of you guys in this game so far. Oh, that was nice. We're here to defend Tarsus 4. Can't be having you guys take us out. I wish there was a better way to avoid damage in this game, because it just, like, as I fly around, I take damage. It doesn't matter if I go left, right, upside down, up, down. I'm still getting damaged. So, you know, there's really no way to do solid evasives in this game. Oh, he came forward. He actually went around my missiles. It's kind of a cool, like, pseudo 3D environment with the different sprites and stuff. So, oh, was that the only? No, I was gonna say, was that the only one? And if you let them, so like if I was to kind of disengage, then they would actually destroy the planet. So the planet is really just a placeholder. So it's the same as the Starbase. It just has more hit points. And so if I sat here and didn't do anything, they legitimately would blow up the planet. Oh, that was so close. Got him. Come on. We're almost there. Oh, I thought I was close there. Yes! It's always satisfying when you get the last shot with a torpedo. You know, the Romulans should have learned from that last shellacking they took, but apparently not. So, we're heading back to Crystalia, where there's no colony under attack, no freighter needing defended. It's just simply a blockade. The Romulans want to control the planet Crystalia, which we can't allow that to happen, because it's just not cool. You know, the Romulans are always acting tough. I kind of wish that they had been overtly aggressive like this in the Next Generation. I feel like they were just constantly posturing. They're like two guys like puffing their chests up at each other in a bar fight, but they don't ever really throw a punch. So it would have been nice to see the Romulans actually engage in that capacity. But I don't think they ever did. Like, even in the Dominion War, I think the most engagement we saw from the Romulans militarily was during when the Obsidian Order attacked the Founders' homeworld in DS9, and you had like the massive armada of Romulan and Cardassian ships, which got obliterated by the 150 Jem'Hadar ships hiding in the nebula. What is going on here? I am taking a beating. Oh, he took an enemy torpedo to the face. Come on. Hey, this is not cool, man. I mean, I can turn and face the backside. Did I get him? I thought I got him. Come on. Oh, my phasers are taking damage. The shields are collapsing. We've got damage to the ship. Oh, we're taking some serious pounding here. This might be the most damage we've taken so far in the game. Oh, got him. Okay. I don't feel like I have time to do a damage assessment. Jordy, you'll just have to wait. And Worf, I know what you want. You're just telling me that the shields are collapsing. See? Told you. Shields are collapsing. Life support has been damaged, Captain. Well, let's see if we can... Everything is damaged because I have only one functioning torpedo launcher. If the life support gets destroyed, the air will bleed out and the game is over, so... Oh man, that was so close. So I just got to try to defeat this guy before we run out of O2. Come on. Yeah, you're not so big and bad anymore, are you? Now that the Enterprise is turned on you. What's this? Oh god, there's another one. Are you serious? A third warbird has just come out of out of warp. Okay. I don't think we might actually not pass this mission. Come on. Come back here. I think the shields have had time to recharge, because we're not getting an alert from Worf every time we take a small hit from a phaser blast. But the other warbird definitely has his torpedoes out and about. Come on. Oh, yes. Okay, so we're still at one warbird. We can do this. We can do this. It's these moments that made the game a lot of fun. Trying to overcome these really tough obstacles. So I really need to fly away, try to get behind him, or at least get him on my view screen. I'm tempted to just stop the ship and turn around and have him face me. Where are you? There he was. There he is. Okay. He's just going to circle around me, though. Make it difficult. I don't think I've got a single shot off on this guy. Come on. I bet that's intruders, isn't it? Oh my god, this is crazy. We've got 4 intruders. And the transporter is so damaged that it's really hard to get him. Oh, now it's not functioning. We had a chance. We had a chance, but I don't think we do anymore. Oh, this is brutal. Yeah, shields are collapsing. Might as well put them down so that you stop telling me they're collapsing. Shields are at 0. Everything is destroyed. Oh, I don't have weapons. So the phasers are out. All the weapon systems are out. The Enterprise is crippled. We were doing okay until the extra warbird arrived. I was trying to see here. So yeah, the sensors are out. That's what's going on. I'm not really. I'm kind of panicking. I'm trying to think of what to do here. I don't think we're gonna win this one, everyone. You get to see an actual mission failure. Let's go into orbit. So if we get into orbit, we should be able to repair ourselves. Oh no! Our life support must have failed. That was a lot of fun, though. Wow, that last mission was pretty intense. We're going back into combat in this one. This is a Federation officer being held captive by Ferengi in the Lysian system. In the Next Generation, Lysian Alliance was a small military force that it was the episode where they wiped their memory. So basically the Enterprise crew, their memory had been wiped, and an alien was on board posing as one of the officers, trying to convince them that the Lysian Alliance was like a genocidal race out to destroy the Federation, and they were trying to use the Enterprise to end the war. And yeah, but here it's just another planet. So, it is cool that they pick names and, like, familiar things. Like, when I see Lysia or Iconia, Bajor, you know, if you've watched the show, you know where these things come from. Even if their features and functions in the game don't necessarily correspond to their true nature. I'm definitely not as worried about the Ferengi as I was about the Romulans in that last mission. But I'm not going to have them spinning around me. Let's just go ahead and annihilate this guy. He can't get away. Are you freaking serious? Is that intruders? Alright, so we've got 4 intruders. And then we have to rescue the officer from the Ferengi ship. Okay. So we'll go back out. We're going to go back in. There we go. I don't know why that is. It's like sometimes it doesn't load all of the mission objectives. There we go. So it did it this time. Awesome. What in the world? That one just kept dropping. Like he ran away. Yep, and we'll do it again. One more time. There we go. Excellent. Thank you, Worf. And please kindly lower the shields so that we can beam the intruders out, but we can't beam the ambassador or the officer off of the Ferengi ship without shields. Okay. At least he's standing still. Excellent. And we will not let them live. And as our rank progresses in the game, some of the missions will change. You'll start to see a little more complexity in the missions. You'll start hauling things like generators, transporting medical supplies, engaging in more work with ambassadors, transporting them back and forth. And then you're going to see things like this, where ships have been stolen. So, a Klingon ship has been stolen near Bajor, and we are on our way to disable it. So we want to disable it, but not destroy it. So let's see what we can do here. Of course, there's another ship in the sector. The advantage with these kinds of missions is that it's just a single stolen ship. So as the difficulty has increased in the last few minutes, especially with that 10-minute Romulan mission that didn't go so well, we're only facing one starship here. Oh, that was so close. Yes! Nice. I wanted to do too many of those. So it's cool that we're getting to see a lot of the alien ships from the Next Generation. You know, the Klingons always had some really nice ships in the Next Generation. I mean, they did in the old series, in the original series, and in the movies, but, you know, these were really special. The Vortas and all of the birds of prey that they took from the movies, and they just used those models in the Next Generation, which was kind of cool. It built some really nice continuity. I'm taking a little bit of damage here. That'd be funny if I'm talking about how easy this is and the Enterprise just gets smoked. Okay. So we got it. Staring down face to face. But we gotta lower the shields first. Come on, Worf. Why do we gotta do this one thing at a time? Oh, wow, we got 7 of these guys to get off of there. Bunch of hijackers. Straight to the brig with you. The Ferengi are much more of a menace in this video game than they ever were in the series. I love how anytime that the Ferengi were shown and they were, like, especially in the Next Generation, they always had in their mind that they were being these great masters of strategy when, yeah, they had no idea what was going on. Okay. Got him. All right. And somehow we beam on a Federation officer, but hey, you know what? It's Star Trek. We're good. So, Tarsus 4, the life support systems. So Vulcan. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Vulcan's life support systems are failing. We are heading to Tarsus 4 to pick up generators so that we can deliver to the colonies. We finally get a little bit of a reprieve from the combat, which is nice. These missions are random. So oh, I got it backwards. So we're going to Vulcan to pick up the generators to take to Tarsus 4. See, that's the thing. Eventually, they all kind of run together because they all look the same and they function the same. Make sure that you get through this. Well, sometimes this goes fast and sometimes this doesn't. We are successfully in orbit. Alright, and we don't have to chase these things around. And just have to find them. I really need to have a talk with the logistics people. Like, why can't you tag them and stack them next to each other? If you know all the generators are being picked up by the Enterprise, why are they not in a hangar, stacked out, laid out together, properly tagged and serviced, ready to go? No, you've just got them laying around in random spots. There we go. At least it's not a Federation officer being beamed in at this point. Now we head to Tarsus 4 to deliver our cargo and prevent the inhabitants from suffocating. Now this orbit's fast. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever failed to achieve orbit in this game. I don't even know what that would look like. Alright, let's beam down our generators. And just like that, the operation is a success. So not that it's going to make much of a difference. I'm going to play this mission. This is the same mission that I played earlier in the game, but at a lower difficulty rating. So this is the highest difficulty rating. This is the captain level. So the Talarian attack, I don't think it's really that much more difficult. We're going to be heading to the planet Krios and attacking the Talarians there. But we'll see what happens. I don't foresee anything too complicated with it, but since we have ranked up a little bit and some of the missions have gotten much more difficult, we'll see if there's any difference between this Talarian assault and the previous one. They're still slow, and I mean, if I end up taking this guy out real quickly, that's gonna be fun. I think I'm just gonna stop the Enterprise again because they just kind of stick with me. They're just too slow. Oh my God, really? They're torpedo sponges is what they are. So let's just stop the Enterprise and let them swarm us. Oh no! It's like shooting fish in a barrel. And if I said that on the bridge of the Enterprise, I'd have to explain that to Commander Data, because he'd probably look at you and not understand the figure of speech. Oh, quick and easy. Look at that. So the Romulans have caused all kinds of trouble for the Federation, but we are still engaged in diplomatic efforts. So there is an asteroid approaching the Lysia colony and the Romulan outpost at Lysia. And so we're going to try to destroy the asteroid. And if we do, then they will think that we're great. And the Romulans will never attack us again, ever. Like, they'll completely leave us alone, and we'll never have to worry about... Yeah, they're going to come probably destroy us the very next day, because that's what they do. But I like this mission. I like these asteroid missions, because there's a couple different variations. There's one that's about to hit a disabled starship, and then here we've got the Romulan outpost that's under threat. This is a captain level mission, so it should have two, I believe. It's 2 asteroids. But they're pretty easy. I mean, if you just get to them in time, a couple of torpedoes will take care of them. It's just a matter of making sure that... Oh, it's only one. All right. I misspoke. And you're going to see how easy it is to take this thing out. I mean, just like that, the mission's over. It didn't take long at all. We're going to be heading to Risa, where we will be linking up with the USS Monitor again to take an ambassador to Melona 4. What I don't understand at this point is, why can't the Monitor just take them to Melona 4? Why does it have to be the Enterprise playing intergalactic ferry? It's all good, though. Ambassador typically stands still and we just beam him up. Yeah, it was Melona 4. I couldn't remember. I forgot for a moment. That's why Riker's there. Riker's there to, step over chairs he's about to sit in, seduce all the women on the alien planets, and remind me of our next destination. Ugh, this one's really slow. Better not mess it up. I do know that if you get too far off course, it'll blink caution. But, yeah, like I said, earlier in the game, I don't think I've ever seen the a failure for orbital insertion here. And the ambassador is on his way, and like all good Star Trek, the war will be averted. Alright, my friends, this is it. The ultimate mission in this game. The last mission we're going to play. This is the Borg Assault. And it is it's the most complicated mission in, compare it to the other ones in this game. So, we are heading to Melona 4 because contact with several vessels has been lost. Let's check it out. See what's going on. And we are about to come face to face with the galaxy's most feared enemy vessel. Yeah. So the way this works, once we engage the Borg, we will get instructions from Riker. We can continue to attack the Borg, or we can disengage. We will disengage, and you'll see why here in a moment. We got to be careful because they're going to launch a barrage of weapons at us as we approach. There they are. There they are. They flew by us. So we need a virus. That wasn't up very long, but that's fine. We're heading back to Earth. And so in order to defeat the Borg, we have to head back to Earth. And we have to secure a virus from our stores at Starfleet headquarters. So we're going to go ahead and put ourselves into orbit. All right. Fortunately, we are safe while in orbit. The transporter's been damaged. Oh, man. I hope it's not damaged enough to where we have to wait. Alright, shields down. Because in the 24th century, viruses are the size of cargo containers. And now Riker's going to tell... So what we have to do is we have to fire on the Borg cube, damage it enough to where it's essentially disabled for a short time. When it's disabled, then we engage the transporter and we send the virus over to them. Now we're going to take some damage here, but once we get them, all I got to do is just keep unloading everything we have on the board. There's a tiny, distinct change in the sound of the torpedoes hitting the surface of the Borg cube that tells you it's ready to be launched. So I lowered the shields because they are disabled. As long as I keep firing my weapons, they don't have time to regenerate, and they're not going to fire on me. This was a hard mission. Like, in '93, when this ship first comes out of space, compared to everything else we've done in this game, this was a tough exercise. So, here we go. And I think we're close. We're going to take a risk, and we're going to beam down the virus. Yep, it worked. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching Star Trek The Next Generation on Retro Playback. The Borg have been defeated. You guys, like I said, thanks for hanging out. I'm Commander Exodus. Take care. Fly safe, and I'll see you